Alright guys, this is gonna be Twisting Blade Rogue Shadow Imbuement version. Let's see how it's gonna go. We have a lot of movement speed. There's a lot of poison in these dungeons, as you can see, in my life. Holy shit. So many explosions. A ton of fun to play this build, man, that's for sure. I'm playing... Well, I don't really know which combo is better. Combo points or no combo points. I like them both. I don't really think we need that one though. So I think combo points is the play. Even though you also don't really need that. This build's just so fast, dude. Concealment gives us movement speed, gives us vulnerability. And we're just playing one higher here right now. Thanks for the support, man. Swap. $3 million, boom. Okay, here, Iron Hold. Twisting Hollow. Can make another sigil. Now we have the boss in the middle. Yeah, this thing is so cool because it also keeps the boss vulnerable. And yeah, boom. That was it. Is this Bloodblister gonna kill us? Nope, we're gonna kill it. This one takes the time to spawn. Yeah, I'm upgrading my poison gems here. But man, this build's rocking. The Condemnation Unique Dagger you could also use. Yeah, we'll go over the build in a sec. And I think I have another layer key in my stash. Or we can just do one of the dungeons that we found. The Iron Hold. Yes. Let's see that one. That one also has a boss. And has many bosses actually. Let's see how we can go up to like, what is it, like 10 elites at a time. A poison build's not bad. Like this is just like Giga Speed build for Shadow. It's a lot of fun. And this just creates like so many explosions. That's what I like about it, and it gives you basically infinite resources with the current combination that we will go over in a sec. Guess I could even get a bit more movement speed if I would roll Unstoppable here. I might do that at some point. These are like level 100. You see how they all explode basically. Down here's the key. Can't dash over there. That side I like a bit more bar. We can actually dash over these, or like leap over these things. Or teleport if you're a sorcerer. So we activate Shadow Imbuement, and then boom, everything explodes whenever our Twisting Blade goes off. Here's Shadow Imbuement again. Boom. Oh, need to kill the last guy. Yeah, Rogue just feels so smooth. So much movement speed in particular. And we can barely make use of the combo points like this. But it's still better than nothing. I don't feel like the inner sight is helping us much either. Okay, here we have some. This creates these like big explosions, yes. And look at our energy meter. Like it's basically always full. And we have a super fast build. Which is where I have to return it. Perfect. Concealment also makes us unstoppable, so we can't even BCC it. As long as we have that one up. All these portals that spawn here. See, the Twisting Blades even kill stuff as we finish the objective. Boom, one shot. Well, it is a pretty funny build, that's for sure. I'm also gonna level these glyphs. There, we get some nice rewards. Actually, they buffed the Nightmare Dungeon rewards. You get like 4 rewards now. And yeah, let's go over the build real quick. So, this is day 2 or day 3 of the season today. We have about like 50 hours played. Reached 100 in like 40 hours. We finished all the renown today. Everything's done here. Took a second, but now we have everything ready. Final Paragon boards built. Well, final for now. But yeah, here's the build. Right now we are playing basic skills, grand damage reduction. What's important here is to have cooldown and armor, I guess. Basic attack speed helps a bit if you want to build up your combo points. It's not really that needed in the speedruns though. So whatever you want to have there. Right now I'm playing Barrier here just for some extra toughness. It really helped early on, so this is just the leftover that I have. You could probably take some utility aspect here to help the build out even further. But Barrier is very nice, especially for all of you guys who might not be 100 yet. It's a 5,000 if you have a max roll. It's like 50% of your life, and you get this every other elite that you fight. So it's really good also against the boss. Then we have Edgemaster here with Twisting Blades. Crit chance is really good. Attack speed is nice. Crit chance with imbuement, like we're using Shadow Imbuement, so we are imbuing our stuff quite a lot. You could also run Lucky Hit here. Then Disobedience here. This one is basically in every build. You want to have more defensive stats on these pets than I have right now. I have Closed and Armor, which is nice. Dodge chance is okay as well, but control impairing duration is okay. But now with Concealment, we actually have Unstoppable. And I'm also using Topazes, so whenever I'm control impaired, I have damage reduction. Which is pretty nice on Rogue, I feel. But as I get more cooldown reduction and more Concealment uptime, I don't think I'll need them, and I might switch them to rubies. But for now, if your gear isn't perfect, I think Topaz is the way. Then on these boots here, it's a pretty nice roll. I have injured damage reduction. I think this is like by far the best stats on boots. This one gives me 43% while I'm injured. You saw, especially in the first run with the poison, I'm getting, you know, quite some help from that. So that feels amazing. I have additional days here just to CC and apply more core control. But I think ultimately you want to run the extra movement speed while Unstoppable. Again, you get Unstoppable from Shadow Step and from Concealment, so you can have it up all the time. So we will play this one here. I just don't want to waste the perfect aspect because I am about to reroll a Barbarian. And this is the aspect on Rowan Barb, so I could probably use that right now. And again, I can stagger, switch, Shadow Step, and Concealment, and I basically have it permanent because it also lasts for 4 seconds after Unstoppable ends. So that's going to give me actually permanently at 200% movement speed. I already get 186% from Concealment when it's up. It's not perma up. And I also get another 10% from Shadow Step, and you can even put another point in here. But I already have 186 plus 10. We're already pretty close, and I guess usually we could do this already and get another point. It really depends a bit on your stats. I think I have not the best roll on the amulet. But yeah, you can get, and I also don't have the best roll on these boots, so you can easily get to max movement speed whenever you do a couple crits with Concealment, and then if you want to have it permanently even without Concealment, you just go for these ones here, Unstoppable movement speed, and you're gonna be flying, man. I mean, Rogue has like 2 dashes already, so you have like crazy utility and max movement speed. Then right now we're playing the Twisting Blades Orbit here. And this roll is pretty bad. I still have like some trap damage from my leveling build. Obviously you want to have Vulnerable here. I just don't really have the gold to roll this one to Vulnerable right now. I need a new weapon anyways. But the weapon damage on this one doesn't matter because your Twisting Blades uses your daggers. So I'm playing double dagger, and that's giving me all the movement speed. All the damage. So this damage here is irrelevant. That's why I'm playing a 700 item power bow. So on these daggers here, right now I'm playing a unique. There is 2 of them, but you could use Condemnation. It comes a bit to personal preference. This one has a chance to give you 3 combo points per attack, and again, your combo point, you see, is like doubling the damage of your Twisting Blades. You have 3 of them. It also increases the core skill damage by 1.4. So if you want to play around with that, I sometimes switch that on the boss if I'm doing like 60s or something, because that feels really good. I might make a separate video. But just for speed farming, like about equal monster level to your character level. Like for me, this is like 50, like Dungeon 47 to 50. Is like very speed farm orientated, and that's where I'm playing this one, the Conjure Dagger. That gives you 30% attack speed. And then on my offhand, I'm also playing Accelerated, so critical strikes give me also another 24% attack speed. So you get like 55% attack speed if you have both max rolled. So yeah, that can be pretty insane. Like you saw how fast I can attack. And you can maintain all the resources. We're going to get to that in the skill tree in a second. We have double resource generation here as well. This one restores 4 whenever we apply crowd control. Again, we have the daze right now here, because I feel this one is also good if you don't want the unstoppable movement speed stuff. You daze, you apply crowd control, you get resources from Umbral, you shadow step, you apply stun, you get resource cost from resource generation from Umbral. And there's just like many little things here that just daze, chill, stun. You can also play the Pented Grease. A lot of people are doing that. Just to apply even some more chill here, this one. So there's just a lot of different ways you can play. These boots I also tried a lot. Many options here. And then I have this one here. Whenever I kill a vulnerable enemy, we get 1.7 resource generation. This is really strong because we always make everything vulnerable with our Shadow Imbuement. And if you wonder about the gems, I play the Vicious Heart here every 5 seconds. Well above 60% life, core skill cost life instead of primary resources. And you saw with the crazy attack speed, my life is actually going down pretty fast. But I generate it with my various abilities. I'm playing the Barber here. This one is the gem, probably just one of the strongest gems. It's a Wrathful one, so this one is a bit rare. I'm gonna put a link in the description how to farm these efficiently. You can farm like easy, like 20, 30 of these per hour if you know what you're doing. So this one is a rare one, but it's like really, really strong. And it basically accumulates all the damage after a crit and releases it in an AoE explosion. Basically works like area damage. It's really, really strong. I even have this in a Sacred Ring right now, because I just didn't get many rings. Again, we're like day 2.5 of the season, or day 3 of the season. Then we have Necklace of Corruption. This one should have energy cost reduction as well instead of intelligence. So cooldown, movement speed, energy cost, and then exploit or malice are pretty good passives. There's also a bunch of other options we can go over in the skill tree. But this one increases the potency of our imbuements, and again, we are using shadow imbuements a lot, and it's just going to give us a big damage increase. Yeah, these are my current stats. I think I'm still missing like some crit chance. That would be Yeah, I have 40%, 300 crit damage. It's pretty nice. Missing some vulnerable though. Only like 100. You want like 200 if you have it here. Pretty easy. Specialization, you can play combo points, you can play Inner Sight. I feel like Inner Sight has like an anti-synergy with the Barbar, because with this gem here, because when you accumulate the damage, you don't really get the gauge meter. So I prefer the combo points. But against a single target, it could still be nice. It's not like that ideal even with combo points, because you're just so fast, you don't really use more than one. If you play the Contamination, it gets a lot better with the combo points. And then you get double damage from your Twisting Blades, so I would recommend going combo points. Then you have the abilities here. We're playing Puncture to apply Vulnerable, Twisting Blades with the cooldown reduction, really good. And if you have a lot of blades, you get a lot of cooldown back from them. Then Siphon Strikes, this one was nerfed a bit, but it's still very good healing, especially when we spend life with our Vicious Heart. And we're playing actually damage reduction here, Brutal Heart, because we just get some damage reduction. That helps a lot. It also offensively blows up the pulse whenever there's accumulated a lot of damage. And I think that can be really nice, actually. The explosion also kills quite some stuff. So just a bunch of damage reduction here as well. Then we have Shadow Step. This one stuns, again for our Umbro. Then we have 1 point in Dash. It's just like so strong, like to just dash and teleport. Here we're using swords, so we get 9% increased damage. Daggers are also very nice. I often get asked like swords or daggers. I think it's like both really good. Whatever you have the better roll of, I would use, because the crit damage implicit got nerfed quite a bit. And the daggers have 30% close, so this is like 3 times. I think actually if I could choose in a perfect world, I think I'd go daggers. Just because the weapon mastery gives multiplicative against healthy enemies, which is also way better than the 9 from swords. And you also get 30% instead of 10. So we'll see. Next one here is Concealment. This one makes you unstoppable. It also gives you energy and movement speed, really strong for just speed running. You can also play traps if you want. Like this is more like a leveling build instead of Concealment, with some poison stuff and some damage reduction nodes. But for speed farming, for blasting, I prefer Concealment. And then this one here, Shadow Imbuement. This one makes everything vulnerable, because the Barbar has like an anti-synergy. Usually you make everything vulnerable with Puncture, but it doesn't really work when you're accumulating damage with the Barbar. So you're not really proccing your vulnerable, just like you're not proccing your Inner Sight. So you really want to try to have another source of vulnerable. And the Blended Shadow Imbuement is a really nice source, because whenever an enemy explodes when you kill it, it not only deals damage, but it also makes everything vulnerable for 2 seconds, which is really good. And then you have the Consuming Shadows. I think this is like one of the craziest passives in the game. It just gives you 30 energy for every enemy that you kill that is Shadow Imbued. And I only have 100 energy, so all I need to do is kill 3 enemies to have my entire resource bar full again. It's insane. We have here 9% crit chance with imbuement skills. Innovation gives us even more energy on lucky hits, and then we play energy haste here, more energy when we're moving, or when we are below a certain point. We even get more attack speed, really fucking strong. But this was the one where we're moving, and this is the one where it gives us a movement speed above 50% energy. So yeah, you see, we just get a lot of movement speed. Momentum here, this one helps us out a lot as well if we're hitting a dazed or frozen enemy. And yeah, again, we're dazing with our boots here, and we're stunning with our Shadow Step. So this happens a lot. That was the skill tree. Then we have the Paragons. Let me disable keywords. So this one is a bit work in progress. I'm gonna put the planner in the description as well. But I think this one is already like pretty decent. I focused very offensively. I've seen a lot of builds out there more on the defensive side. We play control here again because we slow and we stun enemies as well. We have closer, cutthroat. We are like melee, and our twisting blades is using cutthroat. This one helps us a lot. Melee weapon, we're playing daggers, good stuff. Havoc. Then this is one of the crazy nodes, brawler we use. Up here we have hunter killer. I think this is like almost a node that almost every speed build uses, just for the crazy extra damage to elites, and also movement speed. See, we are comfortably at the cap here. Combat here for crit damage, really good stuff. It also restores energy. This is also insane. And we have vulnerable and some potion healing around it. Here also really crazy note, vulnerable and damage reduction to injured enemies. Again here 50% damage to healthy, 15 crit damage, really good stuff. We're playing turf here. Again, more damage reduction from close enemies and more damage to close enemies. Really strong. Then we have exploit down here in the Paragon board, and we have some imbuement cooldowns here. I like this a lot. It gives you like 2.5 imbuement cooldown and also non-physical damage, which is our shadow damage. Helps a ton. And then as kind of one legendary note, this is very good for Speedfarm. Gives you a 1.25 multiplier for every enemy nearby it is crowd controlled. And just some additional notes here. I don't have all the dex requirements, but definitely gear's early stage, right? Like you can still min-max a lot more. But yeah, I think this build is like tremendously fast and probably one of the best speed farming builds in Season 1. I've seen some crazy stuff on Necromancer, and I'm gonna try some crazy stuff on Will and Barb with the Barber. I think it's gonna be really nice with the pull. We're gonna have more content coming next week, guys. Next days. And we're gonna have a big Barb buff patch on Friday, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Hope you enjoyed this rogue overview, and I'll see you soon. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.